Mike, we need the mic because we're recording it. For historical purposes.
So loud.
Just give her the wireless.
Okay. Some people like the whole microphone.
So good afternoon, everyone. You know, I'm not perfect, right?
Yes, you
That was a big, okay. But I'm just very thankful to be here this afternoon. Okay, take two. Thank you. So my name is Berthie Araneta, and I live in the San Fernando Valley. So this is far, but I like coming to the OC. Anyways, as Ray said today, I'm going to talk about family. I am the second of 5 children, but I play the role of older sister in my, I play the role of, but I have the role of being like the eldest child in my family, sometimes even parents to my own parents. But before I go into all of that, I want to tell you the story of, tell you the story that I read from Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa, if you know her, she's a nun from India. She's one of the greatest persons that ever lived. And she was walking around the streets of Calcutta in India, and she saw this little child, this little girl just running around, and she seemed like she needed help. So they took her in to their children's home. They fed her, they made her feel good, but then a few hours later she ran away. And then they're wondering, why did she run away? They didn't know where she went, and they tried to walk the streets and look for her, but they didn't find her. A few days later, eventually they found her, and she asked her to come over to the children's home again, and they did everything, again, they made her feel good, they fed her, they gave her toys, and a few hours later she ran away. She told one of the sisters to follow her, and they did, and then Mother Teresa followed to see where she went too. They found her going under a tree where her mom lived, and there under that tree, the mom was making food on top of 2 stones, and Mother Teresa said in the book that she never saw this child smile when she was at the home, but with her mother, she just saw her glowing. That different glow that you would feel when you're with someone you love. And I guess what she learned from that is that no matter what gift you're given, no matter what material thing, if it's not that gift of love from your family, it's not the same. Because that's where everything starts. Everything in life begins with family. If our moms and our dads didn't come together and procreate, hey, I wouldn't be here, you guys wouldn't be here. So that's where everything starts. And I guess that's what I'll be talking about today. Not only about family, but a different kind of family, a Christian family. This is Talk 7 of your Christian Life program, and you've gone through a lot of different talks. You've gone through talks about yourselves. But today I guess it's time to hear about what we can do so that we too, can, last week you guys talked about loving your neighbor. Our first neighbors are our families. So today, we're kind of going to talk about and think about how we can spread that love, spread God to our first neighbors, which is our family. What are we supposed to do in a family? Well, the family is a place where we learn things. We learn the different values that we need to apply in our life when we go out there in the world. We learn how to be listeners. We learn how to be caretakers. If you have siblings, and you take care of them, you learn how to help them out, how to listen to them. For me, like I said, I'm the So I have an older brother, and I have 2 sisters and another brother. But at home I live with my sisters, because my older brother, he's married. So I live with my 2 sisters, and they come to me, we talk, we make fun of each other. You know, we're like the Kardashians, but better. So, really, we are. No, but I mean, you know, we like be with my sisters. I think we learn from each other. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and the one thing that my sisters always say is like, well, why do I need to make that same mistake? I saw what my sister went through, you know? So they learn from my mistakes, and we learn from our parents too, you know? So that's why we try to help each other in that sense. The family is a place where you train leaders. How do you do that? You don't say, okay, this is, you know, you don't give them a leadership talk every week or just a little, you know, leadership session. Basically, just the little things that we do. How to budget, we learned that in our homes. How to cook, that's a sign of being a leader, because, you know, one day you have to cook for your own family or cook for other people. The things that we learn in our family, serving each other, because before you can become a good leader, you need to be able to serve. That is how, you know, that is the only way, you know, the best way to lead is through service. So you learn that in your family by serving each other. The family is also the place where we can grow to become men and women of God. As women, what is our role? Our role is to, I know we're in a modern society and we're like, well, I can do anything. You know, I can work, buy my own car, do whatever I want. But really, with our men, we have to kind of help them out too, you know? And always remember that the men are the head, but we women are the heart, you know? So even if the men are leading, we still kind of have to guide them, you know? And just be the heart, and because they think with their heads and women think with our hearts. That's usually the case. So, you know, we have to be there helping them. And the men, you have to become the pastors, the providers, the protectors. Pastors, not to say that you're going to be the priest, but, you know, you're supposed to be the one leading your families into prayer. You're supposed to be the one to not be the main provider, but just in a sense, just, you know, make sure that you're protecting everyone and just you're providing them with, not just with financial stuff, but also with insight about life, or just things that you can give to your family, and be the protectors. Make sure that your family is always safe and your family is free from any harm. So that's the role of men and women in families, and that's something in a Christian family that we ought to practice, and we can start in our own families. However, this is not happening today. There's a lot of challenges we face in today's world. I was listening to the news the other day, and they were saying how social media, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, sometimes it becomes an obsession. And how do you know if it's an obsession in your family? They say if you forget about your children. Some parents forget that, oh, okay, because they're in Facebook too much, like meeting people from everywhere, you know, they forget that they have families. I heard a story of someone who met someone on a dating site, and she just often moved all her family to like Montana, you know, across the country, just because she met someone there. And she thought, oh, okay, this is it, the love of my life. Well, you have kids, you know, so what about them? But she brought them there. She found this guy. He was really, he was just a young kid, you know, pretending to be someone else on the internet. And she was, you know, she brought her whole family with her. So sometimes, you know, those things affect family nowadays. When working, I know we all need to make a living. We all need to provide for our families, or, you know, provide for ourselves. But at times, working can become a hurdle into building that Christian family. In my family, my mom works graveyards, and then all of us work. So sometimes we make sure that on certain days we spend time with each other, so that, you know, we still know what's going on with each other. Just last night, I went home. I got home late, you know, and then my little sister was there. Well, not late, but I've been working a lot, so I got home around 8 o'clock, and I leave for work sometimes at 6 or 7. And then my little sister was like, "Oh, hey, what's up? You know, I haven't talked to you in a while. Let's catch up." And we were just eating our dinner, and she was just like, "Well, this is what's going on with me." And as tired as I was, you know, I know that she really enjoyed me just listening to her and telling her, "Okay, that's good. You're doing things in your life, you know." And she was very appreciative for that, because she's like, "Oh, thank you, Manang." You know, she calls me Manang because I'm older. She's like, "Thank you, Manang. You know, I'm glad you listened to me. Yeah, I haven't really told anyone about my plans, but yeah, thanks for listening." And as tired as I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." You know? And then yeah, and that felt good. You know, things like that. Sometimes when I haven't seen my parents in a while, I'll just have to sleep in their room. Well, like recently, and also I'm scared, you know. So I think this is Halloween night, and then I was like, "Oh, Dad, Mom, can I sleep in your room?" "Why?" I think my back's hurting. And then my dad's like, "Okay." So my dad will sleep in his recliner, and I'll sleep in the bed with my mom. And then my dad's like, your back's not hurting. You're just scared because tomorrow's All Souls Day." I was like, "No, that's not true." But, you know, in a way, it's my way of catching up with my parents too, because we'll sleep like at 2 or 3 a.m. and they'll be like, "How are you? How are things?" You know, and I'll just tell them. And, you know, it's good to talk to my parents because they're getting older. And really, I don't know how much time I have left with them, you know, so every moment counts. And yeah, we have to, as much as things are happening that kind of